Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The graphics card used in this benchmark is the NVIDIA RTX 4090. The CPU is the Intel i9-13900K. The video settings were matched as closely as possible. Version 1.0 has a couple of settings that Alpha21 does not have. I left those default. The others were matched to the default settings of Alpha 21.2. I believe it is considered the Ultra preset. Motion blur has been turned off for both. And there we have it. Alpha 21.2 benchmark results. On to version 1.0. The latest as of August 2nd, 2024. Hurrah. Excuse me. And there you have it, the results of version 1.0's benchmark. Now let's take a look at a side-by-side. As you can see, the minimum FPS in Alpha 21.2 is 4 FPS higher than version 1.0. Insignificant. The average, also mostly insignificant. But the maximum FPS is tremendously different. 193 for Alpha 21 versus 160 for version 1.0. Now what's interesting is the 1% lows and 0.1% lows of Alpha 21.2 do not perform as well as version 1.0. Those are your stutters. The thing is, the dip from the 130s all the way down to the 30s, the 60s or 50s is going to feel about the same. So, as we can see, Alpha 21.2 performs better than version 1.0. Now here is the results of the benchmarks that I did without using the recording software of OBS. Oddly enough, the minimum FPS of version 1.0 has dropped by 10 FPS, where the average has stayed the same. Now, the thing that is really interesting is that 1.0 is almost exactly the same with the maximum FPS as Alpha 21. 193 versus 160 when running OBS. The 1% lows and 0.1% lows are just about the same. In fact, the 0-1% lows are exactly the same. There is, oddly enough, a slight reduction in the 1% lows. Alpha 21 performed better across the board with the exception of the minimum FPS, which was exactly the same. But we got a slight FPS increase, negligible, but there. So here we are. Does Alpha 21 outperform version 1.0? Well, these are the results.